Okay, good morning, guys. It is Thursday, April 22nd, 2021, and we're going to get started with our pre-market analysis. So I'd like to again jump to my high time frames and just see if we have any change in the picture. Remember, it's been looking very, very bullish here. So the 3-month, nothing has changed. Super bullish. Monthly, nothing has changed. Super bullish. Weekly, nothing has changed. Super bullish. You can see we have this really nice wick to the downside, and we're almost done with the week now. We have 2 more days here, so we'll see what they do. If they end up pushing, then we'll have a pretty nice what looks to be a bullish reversal there from this pullback. So that will be nice, but overall the weekly looks nice and strong. No signs of exhaustion or reversal. And then remember yesterday when we got to the daily, we were talking about, in fact, we might have even been talking about it the day before as well, how we had this bullish divergence. And I said if we do not come down to 0.1 quarter and break it, we will see this pattern actually follow through. And so you can see as of, what was that, Tuesday's market? From Tuesday's market, we got the close and we got the bullish divergence. And then yesterday we kind of followed through. So we got a retracement of Tuesday's price action and pushed all the way up to test Tuesday's high there at 67.25. So we pretty much played right inside that bar there. And unfortunately, we did not get a push above to get a nice bullish engulfing candle here. We're still stuck inside of Tuesday's price action. So ideally for the bulls this morning, they need to break up above that. That way this pattern can continue. What I am noticing here is, although we're way up here, the RVI is actually kind of down here now. So we'll have to watch. Again, this is the daily candle that just opened at Globex in the afternoon of yesterday. And so we have all of today for this candle to develop. So we'll have to keep that in mind. But overall, every super high time frame is giving us no indications of exhaustion, and they all look pretty bullish. So now when we get to our 4-hour, we'll get a little bit more resolution here. And so you can see from the overnight high, so the overnight high, we actually came down 1 tick. So we never made it to 67.25. I believe we made it to 67 even. And so you can argue this is basically a double top, or you can argue that we are 1 tick lower, right? But on RVI, we actually came up higher. Now, we did not have this bearish indication on the daily, so we want to watch this to see if this is going to follow through on some of our shorter time frames. And then from the low, I'm not really noticing anything. So we have a bit of a bearish signal on the 4-hour off of the overnight high. And so that's the only thing I'm really seeing right now. On the 60-minute, you can see because we did come down a tick, you can still keep the argument that we really don't have that divergence unless you want to argue that this is, for all intents and purposes, a double top. And then you could kind of see that you have a bearish divergence and you could confirm that 4-hour signal. But what I'm noticing here is a bullish signal off of the pullback that we got at 5 a.m. basically right back to the CP. And from that point, we had this bounce and we've got some multiple time frame divergence from that point. And so this is the alert that I put out into the chat room off of 58.50 just in front of the CP at 5 a.m. We got a bullish signal on the 60. Okay, and now you can see I'm in the money in this trade. I said that we had the bullish signal here off 58.50. It pushed. We pulled back right to the CP off previous resistance, a 50% retracement. And so I told everyone we can try this long. Now I got in late. Ideally would have liked to have been in here at 62. And so my entry is a point above where I really would have liked to gotten in. But because I was doing other things and then I was talking to you guys, I wasn't able to get in quite exactly where I should have. So we'll see how far this pushes. If we look, and sorry I'm kind of just jumping into this, but we have this leg here. So ideally, we got to break that previous daily high and get up here to the 27 extension so we can get our 5-point fill on this first contract. Now, if I would have gotten in where I wanted to at 62, we could have brought this down just in front of the previous daily high at 67 for that 5-point fill. So hopefully this ends up working out. Anyway, we were looking at the 30-minute or the 60-minute and seeing all that bullishness. So now what I'd like to do is jump over to my 30-minute here and just show you what I was seeing here. So the 30-minute as well, off of that low of the candle that closed around 4 or actually kind of officially right here around 5 a.m. You can see that's where we got the low on RVI. If I exaggerate this here, you can see. So we've got a bullish signal here on the 30-minute. And off of this high, again, if you want to argue it's a double top, you do have a bit of bearishness there. But we are also in a bull push, so this is just an exhaustion pattern. And from that 67, even if you want to look at the argument from the 4-hour, the 1-hour, and the 30-minute off that high, we already got a pullback, and that could be all we get because we are in this bull push. So when we get some bearish indication off highs in a bullish trend, it's only telling us the potential for some pullback. Now that doesn't mean we can't get deeper in that pullback, but so far we then got contraindications off of that pullback low at 58.50. And so I'm going to stick more with that bias because of what's going on in the market right now. So if 58.50 is going to be kind of a dividing line, maybe even 58 even, which happens to be the CP here. So if the market does come back and break the CP, we have to reevaluate this bias that we're building right now. But so far from the 60-minute, the 30-minute, now down to the 10-minute, you can again see this bullish indication off of 58.50 here, and off this high at 67 in this local area on the 10-minute, there's no signs of bearishness off that 67. So we have that bearishness on the 1-hour and the 30-minute and that 4-hour, but not down at the 10-minute. And like I said, it is a contraindication. So that could be all we get is from 58 to 67, so not even 10 points. Now I'm noticing here on the 10-minute, on that pullback to the CP that we tried long, we also got a continuation here of another bullish divergence. And so this is a 50%, remember 50% retrace, maybe 61 of this specific leg, right around that 50 to 61 area, right off the CP, right off some previous resistance in the market with some bullish divergence. So for now, we're gonna see if this long can carry through. Again, we bounced from 61.75 and we got up 3 points so far. So we're 3 points from the low where the divergence formed, and we'll have to see if it can carry through here. Hopefully, for the sake of this trade, it will. Now, so you can see that overall we have this bullish indication from 58, and then recently we just got a nice bullish indication on the 50% retrace of this push up. And so overall things look pretty bullish, but remember that if we end up pulling back and we break that 58.50, we're going to have to reevaluate. So that's really all I have this morning for the pre-market. The 3-minute, again, you can also see right off of the CP, another really nice divergence. So, in an ideal world here, this should now push at least to test the previous daily high and get up to that 27 extension of this specific price leg up to 68. So we'll see if we can get that. Again, we are up over 3 points from where we got the indication. So as we get closer to the open here, we can continue to watch our short time frames and look for some indications as to the best trade to take coming into the open. Now we are in this chop zone, and it's kind of hard to show. I guess there's enough here. You can see kind of all the garbage we're in right now. So this makes me even a little bit more weary of my entry because I'm all the way up here when I really should be down here. But we have our signals, and that's all we can go by. We know how reliable these signals are, and so we need to just trade them, put on a little bit of amount of risk in order to, again, get 5, 10 points, 5 points with one contract, 10 points with the second, and then maybe even 15 or 20 on that third contract. So not a bad risk to reward. And so we'll see if this can get this follow through here. Before the open, we could potentially already have a pretty nice day. So we will see here. We do have some potential for them to have trouble getting through the previous daily high. Although if you look back, I mean, we've tested it a few times here. So we tested it the day that it formed, right? That's how we got our previous daily high level. And then yesterday we pushed up and could not get through. And then in the overnight, we came one tick in front and could not get through. So we'll see if this time from what I've heard from some people, they like to say that every time you hit a level, you can almost look at it like it's you punching a wall. And every time you punch that wall, it gets softer and softer, so that by maybe the 5th or 6th punch, maybe the first time the wall was really hard, by that 4th or 5th punch, you're breaking right through the wall, right? And so my auto break even just triggered, and if we do end up pulling all the way back, I don't think I'm going to go ahead and move it back down to take on risk before the open. So what I'd like to see is this push, and if it can't push before the open and it comes back to my entry, then I'll just have to reconsider another spot to get in here. Again, we're in a lot of chop, so I want to keep in mind here that, you know, the price could come back and just bounce around in this area. And if that's the case, I don't want to be holding on to a long all the way up here. I'd like to look for a re-entry somewhere lower. So this either has to work or we're out of the trade with no risk. And so hopefully some of you who were here got in maybe even before me, because remember, we were just kind of bouncing off the CP when I said, oh, look at that. We got a 50% retrace right off the CP, and we have divergence again. And so when I clicked the button, we were already a point and a half from the bottom. So hopefully some of you are long. And remember, the idea is when I tell you guys, look what I see divergence, we're at a good level, that and that. You have to trust what I'm telling you, and you'll see, you know, day in, day out, that these calls are really, really good. You have to just kind of trust me. So we got about 10 minutes till the open. The only play right now is to try this long to see if we can get a break through the previous daily high. And outside of that, we'll just see how this plays out. And if anything comes up, I'll let you guys know.